is a land which, in revealing its true identity to the traveller, will continuously test his resilience and intensify the eagerness of his expectations, his thirst for the unknown. The island reveals itself slowly, with gradual pleasant surprises. Its beauties are not only about impressive images. Such imposing lands require an open eye, a desire for exploration, and a lot of hiking. The network of cultural interest routes of Kea, or Jia as the locals call it, includes the ancient paved roads and access paths to the scattered villages, the springs and outcrops, the places of worship and the beaches. The traveller is facilitated in his explorations by detailed maps. There are small red and white signs along the paths with the number of each route. Number 1, for example, is the Leon route. Number 2, the Elixos route. And number 3, the Aristeos route. There are also wooden signs placed at crucial points, which mark out the course of the paths and the hiking time remaining until each destination is reached. A short distance from busy Attica, the traveller finds Kea to be a place which is not revealed at first glance. This island's secret magic is only alluded to. The deep, contrasting relief of tree-lined vegetation, unusual for Cycladic islands, which characterises the mountainous slate deposits, prepares us for the particular interest of hiking through Kea's inland. Route number 1, Leon. Iulida, Leon, Dosonari, or Chias. Iulida, Kea's capital, is the starting point for a scenic path that takes us to the Exocanali region. The route is enchanting. Everywhere, left and right, poppies run riot. It is like walking on a red carpet. The purple mallows are also strong contenders for a place in this interesting landscape. The hiker's glance is taken by the well-cared-for orchards with almond and walnut trees. Soon we reach the fountain of Exocanali. The fountain's little structure is painted in pop art colours: white, turquoise, orange, deep blue. Next to the fountain are the basins where the housewives of Jia wash their clothes in the running water. An adjacent path takes us to the famous fountain of Courentis, with its refreshing waters. A popular singer writes these melancholy verses: "The white legs I saw at the fountain of Courentis, the maiden goes for water to fill her pitcher. When I see her coming to the fountain of Courentis, with the pitcher on her shoulder, I cry and wither." We return to our central path. We soon encounter another cold water spring at Messacanali. As we ascend the stone path, we reach the cemetery, where we find the road that goes through Iulida, and then continue on our course towards Leondas, as the islands call it. The archaic lion is discernible from a distance. We may stop here shortly to photograph this sculpted monument. The Lion of Kea is the island's trademark. We soon reach a fountain with drinking troughs for the animals. The engraved sign informs us that it was constructed in 1928, commissioned by the mayor Petros Leporas. which gazes leisurely at you, Lida, and hasten our step towards the fountain of Benjamin. A large plane tree, old as the hills, shades the square and its neoclassical fountain. On either side are a series of drinking troughs for animals. Rings have been embedded into a small stone wall on the opposite side for villagers to tie up their animals. The festivals that took place here years ago were very famous. We pick up our pace. At some point, the path forks out. Be careful not to take the wrong path. On the right, there is a sign with the number 10 on it. The wooden sign informs us that the road leads to the beautiful Spathi beach. We turn left on path number 1. We walk towards Dosonari. Throughout the path, the blossoming spartiums intoxicate us with their scent. This path could also be named the road with the royal oak trees. We proceed towards Ostias through Campi. Here in Campi, the Xotarides, the villagers that reside in the countryside, grow various vegetables, including potatoes. We are now headed towards Kokini. The path is narrow and winding. On our left, the stream is full of oleanders. The variety of the landscape and the wild flowers continuously surprise us. From afar, we eventually see our final destination, the quaint bay of Otias with its beautiful sandy beach. We finally reach Otias, one of the most visited areas of Kea. At the end of the path, depending on the season, we can taste a couple of figs or fresh almonds from the almond trees. little church of Ayos Georgios gazes outwards over the blue sea with its clear waters. Remnants of a port installation from the classical and Hellenistic periods have been discovered at the Bay of Otias. It is likely that in antiquity, Otias was the port of Ulitha. A perfect end for the Leon-Otias route would be a cooling swim in the blue waters and an ouzo on the beach. Route number 2, Elixos. Ulitha, Milopotamos, Flea. The Elixos route recalls the ancient river of the same name. Its gurgling waters cross the Milopotamos area, with its estuary in ancient Corycia. We start our trek at the Milopotamos stream. On our left, we notice the ancient retaining walls of the terraced fields, installed for keeping back the rainwater. The distant past is harmoniously combined with modern times. The element of water is distinct throughout our course. The running waters of the springs accompany us on our route to the watermills. The walker here encounters those wonderful fig trees, which are known as abucomies in the local dialect, and their early, sweet figs are called arbocunes. We reach the watermills, an excellent example of pre-industrial Greek architecture. The miller's home and the watermill were a single building complex. The plentiful waters of Milopotamos filled the miller's round tanks, the Varadia. The water fell with force on the water wheel and set in motion the mechanism for the grinding of wheat and barley. The ground here is specially fertile. Vegetable patches grow truly organic plants. take the path that leads to Idrusa Flare. The surprises follow one after another. Small waterfalls, strong streams with rich vegetation of hydrophilic plants, composing a picture of a heaven on earth. The waters of Flare sparkle under the sunbeams in fantastic iridescence. We pass dreamy Flare to start on the stone path that leads to Aios Konstantinos. We leave behind the chapel of Aii Apostoli